First things first, I'm sorry about the delay on this video. I was trying to get this video out before Christmas last year, but due to many events, the hassle with multiplayer, and not liking the videos I created.
Black Ops 3 is amazing, it's the best game ever! You've got to play it now, right now. End this review, play it now.
Zombies taking over the planet, copyright stopping me from getting the footage I worked on, the apocalypse, being unable to connect to multiplayer games, supply drop issues, and becoming a woman. But without further ado, let's start this review. My history of Call of Duty is pretty simple. I wouldn't play Call of Duty until World at War on my cousin's PS3, where we played zombies, and that's when I fell in love with zombies. I then bought Black Ops 1 for myself on Xbox 360 a few years later and loved it. Campaign was great, it was the only campaign I've ever beaten on Veteran. Zombies for the most part was great, and the multiplayer was the best I've played so far. Honestly, the only reason I don't play Black Ops 1 anymore is because I got rid of my Xbox. Otherwise I would still be playing. But anyway, on with Black Ops 3. This is your official spoiler warning. I will be covering everything in the story in detail. If you want to skip it and save it for yourself, or if you just don't care about story, click somewhere on screen and you'll be able to skip this section. Okay, so when you start, you're giving a few customizations options. Well, a few. You're limited to 9 different faces for both sexes, and every single one seems like the same bloody person. We've just started this review and I'm already pissed off. With customization options as limited as this, why am I a nobody? Why don't I have a name? Why don't I have a backstory? How hard is it to give actors different lines for each gender? Or why not give me a unisex name? Joe, Alex. Seriously? Really? But anyway, that's more of a nitpick. Before you start your first mission, you're given a small update about how the world has changed over the last 50 years, since the events of Black Ops 2. But it doesn't really seem to try to connect you to the events in any way, shape or form, unlike with the previous games of the series. The Mason family isn't mentioned even once, and there is only 2 references to previous games in the campaign. The only reason I bring this up is it's supposed to be the end of the Black Ops trilogy, and it doesn't feel like it even wants to remember the other games. Most of this won't be important to you, but like I said before, Black Ops 1 was the first game I managed to beat on the hardest difficulty, minus the games you can't change on difficulty. So it matters to me, as I love that campaign so much. Anyway, let's get back to the story. The President of Egypt has been kidnapped by the NRC, who is the enemy army in this game. It's your job to save him with your handler, Hendrix. After saving the President, and a general who becomes important later in the story, you meet Taylor and his crew. Unfortunately, you don't spend enough time with them, so it doesn't really matter. At the end of the mission, you have to defend the skateboard until the plane comes back around to pick it back up. Unfortunately, this is where you get left behind, and robots attack you and rip your arms and legs off, which is brutal, but it's actually pretty funny.
Still at Exfil. More NRC trucks moving in. Inbound
And I'm
2
dead.
minutes. Hang tight, you're not dying today.
Okay. So if you leave a comment, I can see it on stream, by the way.
The only thing I will note on this mission is once you've done it before, you can always come back with your cybernetic upgrades. Bit confusing, you see the robot ripping scene every time. It just breaks the mission sort of, but not really. It's more of a nitpick, really.
You'll be alright. Just hang in there.
The second mission has you going through the dream state sequence, where you get taught how to use your new abilities.
7:31 a.m. A terrorist group detonated.
I was going to put something here, but then I realised nothing here actually adds to the plot, so I really couldn't give a shit. Okay, well I will say this, they do try to build up the characters of Taylor's team in this part of in this section of the game, but we barely see them after this, so it's pointless.
Specialist Sarah Hall. 20-man specialist Peter Moretti.
After this nightmare is over, you wake up and it turns out you hadn't had the surgery. For the start of mission 3, you learn there's been a 5-year skip. Why the fuck did I go into a dream sequence? Why didn't you send me on some missions between this 5-year gap? There was no point in this dream sequence, it adds nothing to the plot, and you could have done something in the 5 years when nothing really happened. Hell, even introducing a single character would have been better than this. From here on, I didn't write anything, because I'm not really the type of person to actually write a script. I was writing a script for this review, and it didn't feel right to me. I got the idea of the script, the jokes were good, so from now on there is no more script, because I don't want to do anything else. I didn't want to write anything else. The third mission has you going into Singapore, which actually, this mission would have been good, but it feels really racist to the Chinese people in this mission. There is a few slaves and there's people that just seem to be murderers, like, on a daily basis. But it covers more later, it'll be fine for now. Anyway, your job in this mission is to get the black box of the CIA control room information, blah blah blah. Basically, it's like a lot of data the CIA have, like, that they don't want leaked. And once you finally get there, it turns out it's already gone missing, and everyone that was on the CIA station has been executed in a form that the 54 Immortals are known for doing. But your CIA handler, Kane, says that Taylor's team was the last group in there. This comes important in the next mission.
It was John Taylor's team.
What? You think they had something to do with these murders?
There's no fucking way, Kane. Look, I know Taylor. There's no way he'd turn on his own.
At the end of the third mission, you find out that black box that you were searching for has been taken by the 54 Immortals. And now in this mission, you pose as arm dealers trying to sell stuff to them. Unfortunately, you get caught, and you have to fight your way into the Immortals' headquarters. Now, the Immortals' leadership is meant to be between a brother and sister. The brother dies at the beginning of this mission, leaving his appearance completely pointless. When you finally get back to the HQ, though, you meet up with his sister, and you cut her arm off. Now, if anybody like me, if you're smart enough, you wouldn't leave this bitch alive. I mean, she's gonna come back for you. But no, you just leave her there, and then she attacks you later in the mission. It's like, what the fuck? You should have just killed her. She sends troops after you, man. When you're trying to escape from the burning super trees, the thing that's giving the entire I-54 power, and all of this could have been avoided with one fucking bullet. Once you do eventually escape, though, you try to track down Taylor's team on their last known op before they went off the grid. But what you end up uncovering is a secret CIA black project that Taylor's team found out about. What I find kind of ironic on this mission, though, is Kane didn't even know about the CIA black project, even though she was sent to the location. I was really surprised they didn't inform her in the first place, to be honest. This project also turns out to be the cause of a massive explosion that killed over 300,000 people roughly 5 years ago. Once you have found the Black Project and found the bodies, you'll eventually be notified that someone's in the main server room controlling all the robots. When you start going down there, you find out it's Diaz, one of Taylor's teammates, and you have to kill him. Great character build-up, guys. You know, you just killed a guy, literally 2 missions after we met him, and we said maybe, less than 20 lines together? But apparently we worked with these guys for 5 years, but there was no gameplay for that, so there's no character building. You know, have a mission where we're all working together during those 5 years when nothing fucking happened would have been a great fucking idea. I should stop swearing, I know, but it really pisses me off with the mistakes they're making with this game. It's supposed to be the end of a trilogy, but it feels like something they just slapped together in 5 fucking minutes and said, done. I'm the type of person who plays these games for the campaign. I like hearing these stories. But, I digress. Let's continue. Before I shoot somebody. After you defeated Diaz, whatever his name is, eventually the new leader of the I-54 Immortals, the girl whose name I cannot pronounce and I'm going to mess it up anyway, so I'm not going to do it, she ends up finding your location, blowing up the walls on the side of the Hydrodome and causing the ocean to flood into this area. Honestly, this is quite smart. And the reason why they should have fucking killed her at the last mission! After you escape, you find out all the CIA safe houses have been exposed to the enemy, and now it's up to you and Hendrix to save Kane as they're on the way to kill Kane, thinking that you are dead. Going through this next mission, you go back through Singapore. This is where more acts of Chinese genocide is seen. Now, the I-54, I can understand why they want to kill people, because they've been locked in this quarantine zone with no help from the outside and with all these weather effects that you've seen in previous missions. But you don't really see any other Chinese people in this game except the ones that get killed during this mission. And it's sort of sad at the same time. I wish we could go through these streets, like if it was like another game where you could see everything, like before you go and actually do all your jobs. Because I would actually like to see some build up to this town. I want to know. I want actually to feel something for these people. But I can't, because they're just sacks of meat hanging from strings, being shot at, being tortured. It really takes away from the whole... I don't really feel involved in trying to get these people to stay alive, because some of them you can keep them alive. And it's actually really, really sad, because I'd much rather do that. Eventually, when you get to the CIA safe house, you're able to save Kane and kill the immortal leader, which is one of the most gruesome deaths in a Call of Duty game so far, other than 4, but we'll talk about 4. Spoilers.
Looks dead.
The next mission requires you going to Egypt. Now, because of the communication errors you've got, you cannot risk communicating with the outside world, talking to the rest of your team. So you've been forced to help the Egyptian army, which I'm perfectly fine with. They're nice people at the end of the day. As they're getting attacked by the NRC as well, and you've got to help them defend their buildings and defend their soldiers, which is perfectly fine, because in return they are giving you Dr. Selmo, who's some guy who worked at the CIA Black Project all those years ago before the explosion. Once you've actually got to talk to him, though, you get attacked and have to save all these people. You also then have to go later down the line and help with these... one of my favourite parts of the entire campaign, actually, is when you get this nail-exploding gun, and you have to pump it into the ground and destroy all the columns underneath to make a massive explosion going off. It looks beautiful, it was fun, I love doing it, but the scene's copyrighted, so I can't show you. As you go through, you have to fight your way through armies of robots, massive SAM units, and all those walker thingies, and raps as well, a few drones here and there, and it's just all hell taken over. Once you've finally survived all that, though, you find out the dead system's been cut off, the system that protects everyone from flying robots and shit. It's like the anti-air defense and anti-robot drone defense system they've got in place. However, as this happens, Hills turns on her tracker, so you're able to follow her. Now, this is one of my favourite missions to do, because you start off this mission by being attacked by what is basically like a worker mech, but it really badly makes me want a Metal Gear fight in Call of Duty. It is pretty epic. You have to shoot her down with rocket launchers, and it's all of you versus her, and she still somehow manages to get she still manages to do quite a lot of damage, actually. But once you destroy her and send her down, you interface with her and read her mind. And go into her mind, because you get trapped with Cortex, which is a long story. It's a very long story.
You don't know what this will do.
But yeah, you then have to go through Sarah Hall's mind, starting with this weird tree sequence, which at the end of it is perfectly fine, but it's really weird. You pick up this baby, it gets digitalized. It's a little creepy. It's very creepy for a Call of Duty game, actually.
Say something. Say something. Please. Please.
What did you do to me?
Then you end up going through scenarios that she's been through and talking about a war back in World War II, where you have to fight on the battlefield of World War II in a game set in 2070. You fight back in World War II, and it gets to the point where you have to defend yourself from a tank that turns into a SAM unit, and then you have to fight zombies in a house similar to the one that people keep talking about in the DLC, like all the children are safe in the house sort of thing that keeps going on, which is pretty cool. I mean, it wasn't what I was expecting, but this has to be made into a zombie map later down the line by someone, on the custom forums. But you really don't expect it. After you kill Sarah Halls, you leave, and Cortex gets angry at you here. I'm not going to explain who he is yet. I'll explain in the next few missions. But she tells you where Taylor and that are, and then you go there.
So, was it worth it? They're at the aquifers.
So for the next mission, you find out Taylor and Majuris, I don't know his name. You find out they're stationed at a old water facility, it's basically an oil derrick, and you fly there in a hydro jet thing. It's pretty epic. Unfortunately, it's all on rails, which kind of sucks. You do end up going down and trying to actually capture them both alive. Unfortunately, Taylor gets away, but you've still got Moretti, that's his name, Moretti. You've still got Moretti to take down, who ends up sniping you, and you actually end up killing him. This one here doesn't seem very... I'm trying. This one doesn't seem very remorseful in all the killings. It definitely looks like he's actually doing it on purpose. It's very... I don't know how to explain this one, but it doesn't feel like the rest, unfortunately. As I actually felt sorry for killing Halls and Diaz first time I did it, I didn't feel anything with this guy. It's almost like my character wanted him to die.
Yeah, shit. He's dead. I mean, he could survive that, but I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Hendricks does show that he's actually really upset about this, that you're killing teammates, but it's something you have to do anyway. There's nothing you can really avoid. After escaping the oil rigs that's getting taken down, you then learn that Taylor is inside some slum tower things called Locust Towers, which you have to make your way to the top in order to see him. And at this point, Taylor is completely deranged. He does not have a single lack of human emotion. It's almost like he is a robot himself. The puppet to the Puppet Master, for example. Once you finally meet him and you get on top of the tower, you have to fight a mothership by yourself with miniguns, rocket launchers. You get attacked by raps, the mothership itself. After you take down the mothership, you get crushed and Taylor comes down to try to finish you himself. But you convince him that it's not him, and he rips out his DMI, the thing that's powering his entire suit, so he's unable to move. But because of this, he is no longer under the control of Cortex, and he's pretty much exactly the same as he was beforehand. However, as you do that, Hendricks has finally come to his corruption of Cortex, and takes out Taylor, going off in another mothership. I don't know where the second one came from, you know, they're so big I didn't realize you could park them next to each other. But yeah, it turns out Hendricks has been infected by Corvus ever since he interfaced with Daz, the first guy you fought back in the CIA Black Project. Once you've all healed up and you're ready to continue the fight, you go to the main CIA location where you have to fight your way through armies of robots just to be able to see Hendricks again. He has gone full corrupt with Corvex. This is where, unfortunately, Kane dies to stupid reasons. Now, I kind of get why they killed her off like this, but I'm really annoyed they killed her off like this. They killed her off with no real reason. If she had died getting into the room, that would have been better. I would have much preferred her dying to like some robot, like making sure we're safe, rather than her just dying needlessly. It's really, really sad. I don't like what it's done.
Multiple breaches and containment failures. The facility's going critical, just like Singapore.
We can reset the containment controls. Purge the gas from the area. That console behind you should be the manual override. Unfortunately, the reset can only be done from this side.
Hey, wait!
There's some things you can endure. Some things you can survive.
A brief moment of agony.
This isn't one of them.
Darkness.
Warnings posted in error. All systems nominal. Purge sequence initiated. It lied to us. It can make you believe things that aren't even real.
Kane, please!
Whatever this thing says, no matter what it does, you cannot trust it!
Rachel! I'm sorry, Rachel. I'll find out for myself.
But after that, you go find Hendricks. He shoots the last guy who knows about the CIA Brat Project. You shoot Hendricks, and then you shoot yourself.
I promised Rachel.
However, you don't die. You end up going into the realm of what I can only refer to as the afterlife. A frozen forest, if you will. Where you actually meet Corvus, who talks to you. Who talks to the guy that died, the handler. And you're in an area where Corvus can choose if someone dies to live on forever in this place.
You just need to relax.
Thankfully, you're not alone though. Taylor's here to help you with this mission. Your job is to kill Corvus's 3 hearts and escape. Now this is the only thing that confuses me. Corvus has hearts. He's computer code. I don't get why he has hearts. But anyway, you go through 3 different areas, all with different difficulties and advantages. Unfortunately, you don't get a choice in which one you do first. You have to do all 3 in Pacific order. However, once you're done, you wake up trying to remove Corvus from the entire system's networks by rebooting your own, as you're the only last infected DMI subject. After you escape, you have to talk to a soldier, and this is the last thing I'm going to show you, because the surprise, dude. You leave,
Fire.
and after you've rebooted your systems, open the door,
Yay.
and then this happens.
Imagine yourself
What's your name, soldier?
in a frozen forest.
I said, what's your name?
Taylor.
What the fuck? I don't know what happened here. It's the craziest twist ending I've seen, and I kind of want to know what happens in Black Ops 4. But there is so many plot holes here. Not really plot holes. Things that I want to be there that are not there. There is no link to the old people. There is no link to Mason's family. There's real no connection to the old games. I would have actually killed to be someone from the Mason family in this game. That's Mason from Black Ops, not Mason serial killer. Just point that out. Not serial killer. Okay. But I do feel like they're lacking in story here. Of course, the game plays brilliantly. There are a few missions here and there, but there is also a lot of events where I feel like I should have been able to control it. Like during the Darkness mission, when you're climbing on a boat, you're flying at these breakneck speeds, and I don't get why I can't press the drop button. It's a very little minor detail, but it's a little tiny. It takes away the realism if you can't do these sort of things. Let me drop off the cliff. Let me tackle somebody from a helicopter. Hell, let me jump up into a helicopter, beat everyone up myself, and jump out. Don't give me quick time events, and don't force the character to do stuff that I've not told it to do. It's really takes away from how well I'm actually involved with this character. It's supposed to be me, after all. That's your whole concept of this game. And yet, it doesn't feel anything like it. There are a few other bonus modes to the story, most notably being Nightmare Mode, which is basically a zombie retelling of the campaign. I'll quickly go through it, really quickly, because I don't want to have to spend another 30 minutes talking about the fucking campaign in this game. So in Nightmares Mode, you're a woman, part of a dead killer group, trying to figure out how the zombies came about. Later down the line, your mentor that you've been talking to the entire time turns out to be a demon called Deimos, and his sister, and he's wanting to fight his sister by turning the entire human population into zombies so he can win against her. This backfires on him though, and you have to go inside him and destroy his 3 hearts. Once you leave, you get told that the entire council of giants, fairies, and other demons is kind of pissed off with you guys for defeating Deimos and killing him. So you have to kill more zombies. Now honestly, this is where I find weird. Nightmares Mode is a better story than the standard campaign. It's literally like they were trying to have Nightmares be the better campaign. The hard part though is you won't understand anything that's happened if you don't play the campaign. So if you're planning on playing the campaign after watching this, and after, being told everything that happens in the campaign, then I recommend you play the campaign first, just to understand Nightmares Mode. There are a few other extras. There is one other extra as well, and that is a combat training-like simulation inside the safe house that you get for campaign. It's not... Each player can play it by themselves. It's not a team-based thing. As you just basically got to get enough points by killing him fast enough and efficiently enough to get a certain medal. There's actually a little one of those escort things that you can get in your bedroom for that. Another bonus in here that was only accessible in the campaign until recently, about a few updates ago, is Dead Ops Arcade 2. I am so glad they brought Dead Ops 2 Arcade back. There's also a bunch of new features, like a first-person mode, a bunch of new weapons, and a bunch of new challenges that you have to do every 5 rounds or something, and it's pretty awesome. If you've not played that yet and you have Black Ops 3, definitely give it a go. So ratings. Now, I'm not doing the whole this entire game gets this thing, because I feel that really devalues certain aspects of a game. For example, I love campaign. I'm not a huge multiplayer fan, and I love zombies. So even if the game only gets 5 out of 10, I'd probably still get it for the fucking zombies. But, so, for campaign, at least, it gets a 6. It's dealable, but campaign is kind of a pain. Yeah. There's just a few things there that don't work for me in the sorts of Call of Duty styles. It's good though. I mean, the movement systems they've got for it is pretty good. But let's get on with the rest of the game, because I cannot wait there. I'm not going to give the bonus modes a rating, because they're bonus modes. Okay, Nightmare gets a pretty good one. I'll give that a 7. And Dead Ups Arcade 2 can be its own game. I would buy Dead Ups Arcade 2 as its own game. But let's get on to the multiplayer. Now, getting footage for the multiplayer game, it started out with me wanting to show you guys all my fails and how bad I am at multiplayer. But getting footage for the multiplayer, I got good.
Drop. Drop.
Either way, this is one of the reasons this review has taken so long. Every week there seems to be a new controversy versus multiplayer. So after this video comes out, next week, if something fucking happens, I cannot tell you anything new. This is just all this shit that's happening with supply drops and shit. As soon as I saw that you could buy supply drops using keys you found in-game, I instantly knew there was going to be some sort of COD point system. Same with the liquid Vinium in Zombies. And I honestly knew that it wasn't just going to be fucking suits like it was originally, like you could change your character skins and calling cards, which actually are pretty cool. But and while yes, the system is fucking broken, not only that, it's a rip-off. I really wouldn't recommend you guys spending money on this system. Honestly, if you want to spend money on a game that is only going to be relevant for the next few years, Counter-Strike. I mean, that's going to be much more relevant than Call of Duty is going to be. You're not going to be able to keep these weapons in the next game. You're not going to be able to keep these weapons after the next Treyarch game. You're not going to have these weapons. You've got maybe 4 months left. So if you want to spend money on it, go for it. But I really would not recommend it. It's literally the worst system they've got. It's not like you're going to get these weapons later on. It's literally they're only going to be used for the next 4 months. And then everyone's going to fuck off to another game. So you don't get to use them anyway. But anyway, let's get to the meat of the things, the multiplayer. Now, multiplayer can actually be pretty good when you get into a fucking game. I swear to God, the amount of people on PC that do not play this game is staggering. I've been trying to get into game modes of Team Deathmatch, which works usually all the time. Domination, which again usually works all the time. But every other fucking game mode, I can't get in. There's not enough players here. No one's playing these fucking game modes. Thankfully, the contract system there, when they have a custom objective game mode, does help now and then. But again, no one's playing fucking uplinks. I've never played uplink. I've never played Safeguard. I've only played them with bots, and it's like, I can't do any of this shit without people. I've gone to one fucking gun game this entire time. And I love gun game. I fucking loved it in Black Ops 1. I loved it in wage matches. I loved earning fucking money. But this is just me getting pissed off because my favourite game modes aren't available. Even free for fucking all. You can't get in a free-for-all game. Honestly, if multiplayer had more people, it would be better. Honestly, if multiplayer had more people, it would be better. So far, it's enjoyable, yes, but it's nothing compared to everything else I played. It's definitely nothing compared to the Black Ops 1 multiplayer, which if you have an Xbox One, put your disc in now, it works. Black Ops 1 will work on your Xbox One, because honestly, I really wish I still had my 360 so I could play Black Ops 1 now and then. It was the best online game I've ever fucking played. And if I had an Xbox One, I'd be playing it right now. But I don't have any of the new consoles, so that sucks, and I don't intend to get it back. Honestly, if you're planning to get this game for multiplayer, do it on PS4, do it on Xbox One, because you're not going to have fun here. Yes, sometimes it's fun, and sometimes going around with a shotgun can be fun, willy-nilly shooting the broccoli at everybody. I don't know who I was watching when I saw that, but I haven't been able to say the name of that gun since the beginning, and now I just call it the broccoli because it's the first thing that pops into my head every time I think about it. Multiplayer on PC gets a 4 out of 10. And that's only because there's not enough people here. If there was more people, gladly 6. For consoles, I'm giving it a 6 as well, because I cannot really condone the slack here. Honestly, guys, even bots, I would gladly take 10% of the usual XP to throw bots into a server. Please, please, let me play Gun Game. Let me play Uplink. Let me play fucking Search and Destroy, for fuck's sake. Now, to my favourite bit, and the bit I'm going to fucking love. Zombies. I don't know what feeding the dragon does. If it's a good thing or a bad thing.
George. I don't know.
His anger and his rage was his undoing.
Okay.
If you've been around my channel for any amount of time, you will know that I love zombies. From the beginning, I was doing NCP, which is, of course, the custom zombie, which, of course, is the fan game, zombie game from World War, which was brilliant at the time. A bit laggy now, but this is not that video. We'll come back to that in another video. But yeah, if you've ever seen a video on my channel, you know I love zombies. So this part of the video is kind of been more of a... This bit's probably going to be the most biased part of the entire video because I fucking love zombies. Okay, so at the point of this review, there is 4 maps. I have all of them. Shadows of Evil, The Giant, Der Eisendrache, and Zetsubo no Shima. Okay, so Zombies has this thing with Gobblegums, which can be very cool, but it removes a lot of the game, in my opinion. Okay, let me put it this way. There is no way to get more than 4 perks in Shadows of Evil, or Der Eisendrache, without a Gobblegum. It's very hard in The Giant, and it's possible in Zetsubo no Shima. And Gobblegums can be earned by getting liquid Avinium and spending it, or by paying COD points. I'm not happy with the system. I'm really not fucking happy with the COD point system. But how do the maps stick up by themselves? Because I've not been able to use most of the Gobblegums. It's because I can't really use them. But I've been able to mess with a few, and so let's talk about the maps themselves, shall we? Shadows of Evil is an extremely hard map, and if you've got no season pass or DLC, it's the only thing you're gonna fucking get. It's not good for new players, but it is good for people that are good, like a challenge. The style of the map is pretty nice, it looks pretty sweet, there's a few traps around there that look pretty cool, and it's even got a new game element, the Beast Mode, which again is pretty cool. You can't be attacked in it, but you've only got it for a limited time per round. However, there is another thing that pisses me off about this map, is actually getting the Pack-a-Punch. Pack-a-Punch is a pain in the ass. However, I'm more thankful it's the Pack-a-Punch and not the Power. We'll be getting onto that later. The Giant is your bulk standard map from World at War, and you get it if you have the Season Pass. Honestly, it's probably the best map for new people, as it's Giant from World at War. It's literally the best map you can give. It's a fan favourite map, and the reason they've done it 3 times over is because people love it. It's a brilliant map. Now, there are differences on this one, though, than the Black Ops one, which is it's got 6 perks, one of which you have to unlock through an Easter egg, which is a pretty easy Easter egg. You just throw monkey bombs on teleporters and send them off. And it also has a new weapon on it called the Annihilator, which is also another Easter egg used in the flytrap. The perks switch around every game, which can be annoying at first, but once you figure out the locations, there's a few new ones, but they're pretty much all the exact same. What I also find funny is there's now a double Pack-a-Punch system in Black Ops 3, where after you Pack-a-Punch a weapon, you can re-Pack-a-Punch it. This makes sitting on the catwalk and using that as a strategy a very good viable option. Me and Megan managed to last until about round 30, and she's bad at zombies. No offense, people. But she's not that good at zombies, and she was able to survive on the catwalk till round 30. So they kind of sort of broke it, but fixed it in the same time span. It's confusing. Now to the other DLC maps. DLC 1, Der Eisendrache. Der Eisendrache is a very good map. it's very entertaining, and it doesn't take long to open up the entire map. Once you've got power, you can literally go anywhere on the map. There is so much running space. The only thing that annoys me is the Panzer, but he goes down pretty quickly. So it's not a problem, really. The only other problem I have with this map is there is a lot of bugs, especially with a boss. The Easter egg clearly cannot be done by a single person. Well, a single new person, shall I say. So it'll definitely need multiple tries. But once you manage to get a bow, you're unstoppable. It is never that and a few other that and the gobble gum that gives you ammo every time you get 10 points. You will be undefeatable in this map. Now we get to the map that nobody fucking likes. That's literally it. Nobody fucking likes it. Setsubo no Shima. Before I even got to try this, I've been told it's a buggy mess, not worth your time, not worth your money, and probably not even worth your data space, which surprises me. People even consider, it's like only a gig big, and people consider that to be a problem. Now, I've played the map myself, and you've clearly seen it on the channel. There will be a link somewhere around my face somewhere, if you haven't. But the map does suffer. It suffers from a power issue. By power, I mean you've got to turn on the ultimate power. You've got to fill up 2 different stations with 115 water, and then you've got to go to the middle station, open the and defeat the Thrusher there, then go to a door that you don't know exists. By that I mean it's hard to know on your first try. I got lucky when I did it in my video. I got really fucking lucky and opened the right door. And then you've got to go down into the sewer, remove cobwebs from a vent, survive until you've killed all the zombies in this underwater section, and then turn on the power. It's never been that fucking complicated. What the fuck? This is why people don't like the map. It's not just that though. This map is a fucking money whore. You'll spend more money on doors than you will on ammo, than you will on upgrades, than you will on perks, because there are so many fucking doors, and they're all required. Especially if you're trying to go for the Easter egg. Now, I complain about this in a lot of custom zombie maps. I absolutely hate it. If you add a room, right, and there's 2 rooms here, and a corridor, and you put a door between them 2, and there's nothing in that fucking room, don't make it so each door has to be bought separately. Make it so they're one fucking continuous door. This map does that quite a fucking lot. And it pisses me off, I swear to God. Custom map makers, if you're watching this video, please, when Black Ops 3 modding tools come out, do not fuck with the corridor system. Do not put doors if the room you've just made has, fucking content in it. Maybe a gun, a gumball machine, a perk, anything. Okay? It annoys me more than anything. Overall, Zombies is pretty good, and I am thankful that you can do split screen in all of these modes. I am very thankful. Because that means that me and my friends can actually play custom zombie maps when the mod tools come out. Because they're actually releasing mod tools and you'll be able to play custom zombie maps. That means I can actually play on my friends split screen on custom zombies, which is something you can't do in World of War, which is something I'm going to love, because my friends don't have powerful computers. They can't just play. They can't just buy the game and come play with me, because the settings for this game are quite a lot to run. I mean, my old PC just managed to be able to run it. This one can run it at high, and I can't record at ultra unless I want 12 frames. Overall, this section of the game gets an 8 out of 10. There may be a little bit of bias in here because I do love zombies. It's brilliant, and I love it. But yeah, it'll get a 9 out of 10 if the mod tools actually come out. They're in pre-alpha, they're going to be in beta, and I know that they say this sort of stuff, but sometimes they've rejected the tools the entirety of the time. Sometimes they reject the tools and don't give them to people. So currently it's an 8, will be a 9 when the mod tools come out for zombies. That's all I'm saying right now. Especially for zombies, because I do love it. I really hope it grows, and I hope the DLC 3 and 4, and if there's a 5, are good. That's all I care about. In total, I give this game a 7.5. It's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect. The game has a lot of flaws, especially in the campaign and PC multiplayer. If you play on consoles, I would give it a solid 8. Definitely a solid 8. And I would recommend it. It does take up a lot of your time. I've spent so many hours on this game alone that it's not something I can just say don't play it. I've spent over 133 hours on this game, so if you're looking for something to kill time, this is the game. Even though I've given it such a low score as 8, just to put in perspective guys, 8 is actually not really that low. I mean 5 means the game's average and I would still probably recommend you buy it. 8 is pretty good for this type of game actually, and I would have given it higher if they had been more relevant to the original games. I'm not being that, oh, Call of Duty is the same thing every year, because it's not. The whole movement system is flawed, definitely. It's not welcome for me in multiplayer personally, and I do love it in campaign though. It's very good in campaign. And Zombies does not use that movement system at all. There's a few moves that do carry over, like wall running, but it doesn't use them at all, nearly at all at least. And it's just a breath of fresh air to not have them in Zombies. Again guys, if you are planning to buy this, and you're planning to buy it on PC, hit me up. I need some zombie players, okay? Okay, cool. And you still need to fucking beat that Easter egg of Shadows of Evil. Anyway, if you enjoyed this review, let me know in the comments, give this video a like, and I'll see you guys next time. If you do end up buying this game, please let me know. I mean, I want to play with people, and especially on PC, if you're on PC, as I only have it on there, then it'd be great because I do need to beat the Easter eggs. And it's also cool to see some more people, especially if we can get enough people to actually come along and play gun game, I'd be happy. So, thank you guys for watching. Please like, rate, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. If you've got a suggestion what I should review next, put it down in the comments. If I don't own it, I can't review it. That's my only rule, and I'll let you know if I can't review it. Alright, thanks.
Bye.